الحمد لله رب العالمين والصلاة والسلام على المبعوث رحمة للعالمين نبينا محمد وعلى آله وأصحابه أجمعين. To continue, of course, استمرارا بما قد سبق, to continue in our discussion of أقسام الكلام الثلاثة. So we already understood that Kalam has ثلاثة أقسام, 3 divisions. Those divisions are Ism, Fi'l, and Harf. As the Mu'allif said, وأقسامه ثلاثة اسم وفعل وحرف جاء لمعنى. So we have discussed already Ism and Fi'l. Ism, the meaning of it is كلمة دلت على معنى في نفسها ولم تقترن بزمان. A word that has a meaning within itself, but it has nothing to do with time frame. As for the fi'l, it is كلمة دلت على معنى في نفسها واقترنت بأحد الأزمنة الثلاثة. Fi'l is a word that has a meaning within itself. It denotes a meaning. In addition to denoting a meaning in itself, it is attached to one of the 3 time frames. التي هي الماضي والحال والمستقبل. Those 3 time frames are past, present, and future. We left off discussing the meaning of ماضي, حال, and مستقبل, and the أفعال, the fi'l that goes with that. So you have فعل ماض, فعل مضارع, and فعل أمر. Let's discuss those أفعال now. So the ماضي time frame, which is past time frame, past tense time frame, you have ماضي, that's past tense. The fi'l that goes with it is فعل ماض, a past tense verb. ماض also means something that has already happened, which basically is past tense, something that has passed. You say مضى فلان, that so and so went by. For example, نصر, نصر, he helped. فعل مضارع is what we call present tense verb. That's for al-hal, that's for the time being, the present time. The fi'l for al-hal is fi'lun mudari'un, a present tense verb. Its example is yansuru. Its example is yansuru. So nasara yansuru. As for the mustaqbal, the future, its fi'l can be mudari', like al-hal, like present tense, as well as fi'lun amr, fi'lun amrun, or fi'lu amrin, a verb of command. So mustaqbal, usually it's switched between hal, hal's form, which is mudari'. Sometimes mudari' is for future, and sometimes, and for the most time, all of fi'l amr is for future. For example, unsur, nasara, yansuru, انصر. Another example. فهم يفهم افهم. فهم يفهم افهم. Now, so which means itself to understand. So nasara yansuru unsur is he is helping, or he helped, he is helping, help. Fahima yafhamu ifham. Fahima, he understands, he understood. Yafhamu, he is understanding. And ifham, understand. Next example. Alima ya'lamu i'lam. Alima ya'lamu i'lam. He knows, or he knew, he knows, and know. He knew, he knows, and know. Also, jalasa yajlisu ijlis. Jalasa yajlisu ijlis. Jalasa is madi, yajlisu is mudari', and ijlis is amr. Also, daraba yadribu idrib. As for jalasa yajlisu ijlis, it means to sit. He sat, he is sitting, sit. As for daraba yadribu idrib, it's he hit, he is hitting, and hit or strike. As Allah says, anidrib bi'asaka al-hajar. Allah said to Musa, strike the boulder with your stick. Idrib. So that's fi'l madi, hal, mustaqbal. Let's define these three. The definition for madi, fi'l madi, is ما دل على حدث وقع قبل زمان التكلم. ما دل على حدث وقع قبل زمان التكلم. That which indicates a happening, an occurrence that took place before it was spoken about, before speaking about it. So, before I did my lafz al-murakkab mufidu bil-wada', this occurrence already took place. Hadath, this occurrence already took place before I talked about it, before I did my lafz murakkab mufid bil-wada'. We've already defined the ism, so ism is on the sideline, ala janb, it's on the sideline right now. Fi'l, it has madi, mudari' and amr to accommodate madi, hal, and mustaqbal. Madi is past tense, hal is current tense, present tense otherwise, and mustaqbal is future tense. So the first one we're dealing with is past tense verb. Its definition is ما دل على حدث وقع قبل زمان التكلم, that which indicates an occurrence, a happening that went about, that transpired before one talks about it. مثال ذلك, an example of that, كتب, he wrote, فهم, he understood, خرج, he exited, سمع, he heard, أبصر, he saw, تكلم, he spoke about, or he said. يعني تكلم here is he spoke. استغفر, he sought covering. Of course, he sought Allah's covering. May Allah Jalla make us from the mustaghfirin, from those who seek his covering much. Istaghfara is there. Likewise, ishtaraka, he paired or he partnered with someone in something. So for us to understand these amthila, these examples, it's very, very pertinent, very, very important to understand these examples. كتب فهم خرج سمع أبصر تكلم استغفر اشترك. And all of these af'al, all of these verbs, or af'al, we would say, we prefer to use Arabi because verbs to the Nahwiyun is not kalam, because it is not bil wad' al Arabi, it is not in the Arabic language. In addition to that, of course, words in itself would be considered kalam for others, for the reason of deriving rulings, jurisprudence, and so on and so forth. As for grammar, the word verbs and the word word, they are both not considered from kalam. Tamam? So these af'al al-madiyah, al-af'al al-madiyah, these past tense verbs. كتب فهم خرج سمع أبصر تكلم استغفر اشترك. So ماضي, before we move on, فعل ماضي is ما دل على حدث وقع قبل زمان التكلم. That which indicates an occurrence or happening that took place before it was spoken about, before it's mentioned. The next one is mudari'. It is what we refer to as present tense verb, present tense fi'l. مضارع هو ما دل على حدث يقع في زمان التكلم. I forgot the word here, حدث. That which indicates an occurrence that is happening as it is being mentioned. As it is being mentioned. So that particular occurrence is happening at the time of its mention is called mudari'. In addition to that, the second additional meaning is that أو بعده, it could be happening during the time of occurrence this thing is taking place and I'm speaking about it. So I say الآن أنا أدرس. Right now I am teaching, I am instructing. أو بعده means or after زمان التكلم, after it's mentioned. So sometimes I would say, for example, you would say أنا سأدرس or أنا أدرس غدا, I'm going to learn tomorrow. And I would say أنا أدرسك غدا, I will teach you tomorrow. So the word غدا means tomorrow, so it's understood that it is going to happen after I'm speaking. But it still has the same form as it would have had it been taking place, which is أدرس, I am teaching. أنا أدرس الآن, I am teaching right now. وأنا أدرس غدا, I'll write those examples for you. أنا أدرس أنا أدرس الآن. You understand أدرس here because of الآن. أدرس means now. أدرس. And the next example is if I'm going to do it tomorrow. أنا أدرس غدا. أنا أدرس غدا. غدا means tomorrow. And of course you say inshallah. As Allah says, ولا تقولن لشيء إني فاعل ذلك غدا إلا إن يشاء الله. Allah says, never dare to say something. To say about something, I'm going to do such and such tomorrow, غدا. Except that Allah wills. Meaning, except that you say, if Allah wills, inshallah. So, أنا أدرس غدا. Our point is, أدرس in this form or in this sentence is the same as أدرس in this sentence. The difference is, الآن lets us know that I am doing it right now, and غدا lets us know that I'm going to do it tomorrow. The point is, مضارع can be ما دل على حدث يقع في زمان التكلم. It can be a word that indicates or signifies something, an occurrence happening after, while one is speaking about it, while the mention is being made about that particular word. The mention can be being made right now, and while I'm mentioning it, it is happening. Or it could happen after my mention of it. Both of them are plausible. Like, example, يكتب, يفهم, يخرج, يسمع, ينصر, يتكلم, يستغفر, يشترك. All of these, of course, in with dhamma, as you've seen. يكتب, يفهم, يخرج, يسمع, ينصر, يتكلم, يستغفر, يشترك. These are all أفعال مضارعة. أفعال مضارعة. Last but not least, we want to take the other fi'l that has to do with mustaqbal, has to do with future tense. That fi'l is fi'lu amrin, fi'lu amrin, fi'l of command. وهو ما دل على حدث يطلب حصوله بعد زمان التكلم. ما دل على حدث يطلب حصوله بعد زمان التكلم. That word that indicates an occurrence that is requested to happen after its mention. After its mention. ما دل على حدث يطلب حصوله بعد زمان التكلم. That word that indicates an occurrence that is sought or requested to happen after being mentioned. Beautiful. So if I say to you, نحو, for example, اكتب, write. It means before I said it, you were not writing. But when I said it, you began to write. That means I intended that I wanted you to write after I said it. So the zaman al-takallum is my statement, the time of speech, the time of mention. I said, uktub. And if you were writing before I said uktub and you stopped writing, you're busy in class, you're writing, then I noticed you dazed off, for example, or you started to daydream and look into space with a blank stare. And I would say, uktub ya fulan, write, continue writing. That means I want you to write after I say uktub, after I mention it. Next one, ifham, understand. Of course, the teacher, after they have tried and tried again for the student to understand, and they have yet to understand, they say, ifham ya akhi, understand, my dear friend, my brother, or ukhti. Ukhruj, exit. Usually we say get out. Ukhruj, get out. Isma, listen. Isma, listen. So, ya akhi, isma, my dear brother, listen. Or, ya ukhti, isma'i, my dear sister, listen. Allah says, وَاسْمَعُوا وَأَطِيعُوا. All of you listen and all of you obey. Unsur, aid, come to the assistance of. Unsur, Rasulullah said, Unsur akhaka zaliman aw mazluma. Aid your brother, regardless if he is oppressor or oppressed. And the Sahaba, they understood what it meant to aid your brother when he's oppressed. But they said, how can we aid him if he is being the oppressor, if he is the agitator, the aggravator, the initiator of oppression? Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam said, وَكَمَا قال إنهه عن الظلم أو نهيك إياه عن الظلم وكما قال عليه الصلاة والسلام. He said that you stop him and you discourage him and you keep him from practicing tyranny and oppression. That is helping him. So the point is unsur. The next one is takallam. Ya akhi, takallam. Speak. After a person has been sitting silent, you've asked them a question. You say, ma ma'na al-kalam? What does kalam mean? And he's sitting there as if they hadn't studied. He or she is sitting there as if they hadn't studied, as if they don't know what you're talking about. كأنهما ما يعلمان عما تتكلم. So you say, takallam, speak, and quickly, because we have a class to continue, for example. ولو سمحت بسرعة حتى نكمل الدرس. Right? Yeah, I have a class to complete. Please, takallam بسرعة. Mention something, but quickly, please. The next example is istaghfir. Seek the covering. Of course, the covering here is the covering of Allah, commonly translated to seek forgiveness. Istaghfir. Do istighfar. Seek Allah's covering. Ishtarik. Partner up with him. Partner up with her, for example. Ishtarik. Women to women, of course, male to male. Or join us. Ishtarik ma'ana. Join us. So you have here examples. Uktub, ukhruj, isma', unsur, takallam, istaghfir, ishtarik. Now you've probably noticed all of the fi'l madis all ended with the fatha at the end. And all of the fi'l mudari'as that we covered all end with the dhamma. And all of the fi'l amrs that we have covered, of course I said fi'l amrs as opposed to af'al amr. أفعال ماضي, أفعال مضارع, أفعال أمر. All the أفعال أمر end with a sukoon. Remember that. ماضي ends with فتحة, مضارع ends with ضمة, and أمر ends with sukoon. That will resurface again later on for us to benefit from. To end, of course, this is our definition for the aqsam al-kalam. The first qism min aqsam al-kalam is ismun. The second qism from aqsam al-kalam, the second division of aqsam al-kalam is, what is it? Correct, fi'lun. So ism, fi'l. It only remains only one thing. That's harf. What is harf? ما معنى حرف؟ ننظر إن شاء الله. الحرف. الحرف means الطرف. Linguistically it means the edge of something. ومن الناس من يعبد الله على حرف. Some people worship Allah on the edge, on the verge of not worshipping Him, like hardly worshipping Him. May Allah save us. Allahu Akbar. From the people are those who worship Allah on the verge of not worshipping Him, on the verge, on the edge of a cliff. فَإِنْ أَصَابَهُ خَيْرٌ اطْمَأَنَّ بِهِ. When he is blessed with some good, he is relaxed and pleased, serene with that good. وإن أصابته فتنة انقلب على وجهه خسر الدنيا والآخرة. Very scary ayah. However, when some difficulty comes his or her way, انقلب على وجهه, he falls upon his face, خسر الدنيا والآخرة, missing out on this world, lowly life and the hereafter. ذلك هو الخسران المبين. That is indeed losing. That is the evident way of losing and missing out, or losing out. Of course, I had to finish the ayah because of its power. And Allah Jalla wa Ala, His kalam is أحق أن يقال. His statement, His speech, His kalam, we're talking about al-kalam huwa al-lafzu, and so on. His kalam is more befitting that it should be said and appreciated, of course, subhanahu wa ta'ala. Al-harfu is at-taraf, as we said, the end of something, or edge of something, excuse me. As for with the grammarians, the nahwiyun, or nuhat, كلمة دلت على معنى في غيرها. Harf is a word that completes the meaning of another word. A word that completes the meaning of another word. Of course, the word here, completes, is not here. I'm translating it as it should be understood, not necessarily as it is word for word. كلمة دلت على معنى في نفسها. Because on the other ism and fi'l, I said indicates. But to say that a word that indicates a meaning in other than itself is not really comprehensible. Of course, the harf has a meaning in itself. It means something, but it completes the meaning of another word. It completes the meaning of a sentence. So you have an ism and a fi'l, and you want to complete the meaning between the two, the ism and the fi'l and so on, you put a harf there to complete the meaning. An example of that is min, which means from. Min, which means from. يدل على الابتداء. It indicates a starting point. For example, you say ذهبت, I left or went, من البيت, من البيت. ذهبت من البيت, I left from the house. So min here indicates al-ibtida. Here is min. It indicates what? Al-ibtida, that this is your starting point. Al-ibtida, ba, ta, dal, alif, hamza. Al-ibtida. ذهبت من البيت, I left from the house. So it means my journey began at the house, and of course where I ended up I didn't mention here. ذهبت من البيت. Let's look at ذهبت من البيت. How do we know that it is kalam? Is it lafz? Correct, it is lafz because I said it. Is it murakkab? Correct, it is murakkab because it is made up of 4 words, as you see. ذهب, and then 2, then min, then al-bayt. That's 4. Good. Is it mufid? Yes, it is mufid because you understood that I began at my home and I left from there. Is it bil wada'? Yes, it is bil wada' because I say it in the Arabic language and I intend what I say. I'm not asleep and saying ذهبت من البيت in a sleep mode, or senile when I say ذهبت من البيت and I don't intend that. No, I intended. So it fits all 4 categories and prerequisites. Those are lafz, murakkab, mufid, bil wada'. These are the 3 aqsam al-kalam. Aqsam al-kalam, as it is in our chart here. أقسام الكلام is اسم, فعل, and حرف. جاء لمعنى means it comes to complete the meaning. جاء لمعنى, it is placed to complete the meaning. تمام. بهذا القدر نكتفي والله تعالى أعلم. This should be sufficient enough and Allah knows better. We hope that Allah Jalla Ala will make us appreciative of this opportunity to review and teach the grammar so that we can understand the book of Allah for ourselves with the help of the knowledgeable, of course. The students who are knowledgeable as well as the scholars who are knowledgeable. With their help, we can understand and delve into the book of Allah and the Sunnah, that we can have a personal relationship with them that, of course, beats a middleman relationship or a relationship through someone else, through someone's translation or interpretation. We ask Allah Jalla Ala to teach us His Arabic lisan and that He make us of those who are grateful. Allahumma salli wa sallam ala nabiyyina Muhammad. Rabbana zidna ilma.